So the nerds want to do their thing. The truth people, the rednecks want to do their thing. And you have the yoga Nazis wanting to do their thing. And this is why nothing changes, because each group thinks they're better and they're actually robots. Yeah. It is our movement. And I say it as a movement because it takes great consciousness to realize why you need to have a movement. Not everyone gets this. But our movement said, you know what? All these three systems have got to interconnect. So the fight for freedom is directly related to how much truth and innovation you can have. Innovation demands freedom. Right. Science demands freedom. And none of this can exist if you have a bunch of fat slobs who don't know what to eat, how to live, and they're eating Burger King and their bodies can't even think properly. So when you have bad health, you can't even fight for freedom or do things. So all these things are connected: truth, freedom, and health.
Yeah. Why don't we ever have nerds that like pump iron and like work out? I'm sure it would actually be like good for your brain and increase your blood flow and stuff like that.
Well, here's the thing. I noticed this when I was at MIT. I came in as an athlete, and if you were an athlete, you must be dumb. There was a guy in our fraternity who became one of the leading surgeons, and he came from the South, very slow talking. He was an Olympic level skier, and everyone thought Hansel was dumb, but he ended up getting an MD, PhD because the media has created these robotic archetypes. In order to be a movie star, you must be like this. In order to be a nerd, you must be like this. In order to be a healthy person, you must be like this. They've created these archetypes. And God forbid, if you are good looking and you are healthy and you know about fighting for freedom and an activist and you are a nerd, right? Yeah. That's not allowed. In fact, there's a lot of jealousy against that because most of the Tucker Carlsons of the world, who grew up as essentially a rich white boy, preppy boy, hanging around with Hunter Biden, needs, by the way, Hunter Biden to get his son into school, right? That's the trajectory he's on. He wears a certain dress, he wears a uniform. The person who grew up in Malibu, right, has to look a certain way, talk a certain way, get Botox a certain way to appeal to that. So basically, we live in a world of robots. That's my bottom line. And you go beyond being a robot until you ask this question: who am I? What's my interconnection to other things? Now, if the school systems aren't going to teach you that, if the political systems aren't going to teach you that, if the health systems aren't going to, where are you going to get that knowledge? Which means what the elites are doing right now in a very profound way is they've actually created lots of human robots, meaning quote unquote human robots in flesh and blood. And in my view, what they're doing is they're saying, wow, it costs me $200,000 to keep in the United States 300 million robots going. Mm-hmm. It costs me at the world level, $300,000 to keep 7.2 billion robots going. And among those robots, I see over here are some of people who are humans who are on my side, the elite, and there's some other humans who are on their side. That's problem. But the vast majority of people are robots, and they're doing this calculation. Well, why do I need 7.2 billion flesh and blood robots? Suppose I can replace them with things that don't ask for food, don't need this, this, and this. A calculation probably has already been made. And the calculation is I'm going to keep the really, really dumb human robots who don't think and they don't know there's a printer and a machine. I don't need them. Okay. It may be cheaper and so paying health benefits to replace it with a machine, like you said. And in fact, maybe I even don't want to even have them alive, right? Let them die. So that calculation, in my view, has already been made. And the only way out of this, whether you believe in these conspiracy theories, etc., is much more personal, which is, do you want to be a robot? And that requires a very, very significant education and enlightenment process. We have to ask, who am I? What do I fit into this larger system? The reality is people don't have the tools to even answer that question. And that is why learning to think, the science of systems, is so important. And that is why I implore people to take time to go to truthfreedomhealth.com, understand the science of systems, because I wish that this had existed back in 1978. We could have taught a lot of people.